Deep from beneath Gielinor, a war rages on.
Bosses!
But never fear, because the men of the Watch have taken up arms to confront RuneScape's newest challenge, coming in 2 weeks.
God Wars 1 was so popular because it was the quintessential piece of PvM content. As soon as you got into bossing, that was the first place you went. And the rewards and stuff you get have been really popular, even to this day.
So it's now time for the follow-up to God Wars Dungeon 2, Heart of Gielinor. The new dungeon is set deep under Gielinor in a huge cavern, what we're calling the Heart of Gielinor.
The Heart of Gielinor is located in the desert near Nada. If you've completed the Tales of the God Wars, you should have access to a teleport tablet that will take you straight to the dungeon.
We've got 4 big factions that are all competing over this huge energy source in the centre of the earth.
You'll be able to descend where you reach a staging area with representatives of each of the factions. You'll be able to talk to them to find out what your standing is with each of the factions, and also what rewards you'll get for increasing your reputation with them. You'll also find Feng, the bounty master, who will offer you 1 bounty per day, which can stack up to 5. These are contracts to go and kill things around the dungeon to earn yourself reputation with a chosen faction.
In the dungeon, there's 4 wings. Each wing has its own faction with its own boss associated with it. We've got the Zaros General, Vindicta, the Dragon Rider, and a Dragon Gorvek. We've got the Seren boss, Helwyr, who's from a House of Elves that we've not encountered before. We've got the Sliske boss, Grigorovic, who's got a bit of a history with Sliske and he's got quite a shady past. And then we've got the 2 Furies, who are the generals fighting for Zamorak. They're 2 demon bounty hunters that he hired to take out the Dragon Riders thousands of years ago.
All of the bosses are of roughly the same difficulty, but I think Grigorovic is the most challenging and encourages you to bring a slightly different setup to you might normally.
Just like in the original God Wars dungeon, you'll need 40 kill count to be able to fight the bosses, but this functions a little bit differently in God Wars Dungeon 2, where you can build up momentum and get a multiplier which scores you more kill count. If your rep's higher as well, you'll also get reduced kill count costs for fighting the bosses. On top of that, in order to fight the bosses, there'll be level 80 skill requirements. When fighting the bosses, you'll also have the option to select a higher difficulty tier called Challenge Mode. This mode will have additional mechanics, and the bosses will have harder stats to give those veteran players even more of a challenge.
Doing 4 bosses all at once means that we've got quite a lot to play with. So we want to make sure that each of the bosses had their really own unique feel to them. And that really comes out in the way that the environment has been designed around them. Giant's Causeway was a big bit of the inspiration for the style of the kind of hexagonal placement of all the tiles in the area. We've also made sure that each of the 4 faction wings has a very distinct style and take on that area. As all of you no doubt aware, we have the NXT client coming up as well, and this was always in our mind when we were building the dungeon and the new environment. We've made sure that it looks as good as it possibly can in the new client.
One of the things that really resonated with me from the original dungeon was the way that the NPCs were fighting amongst themselves, trying to further their causes regardless of what the players were doing. This is something we've taken a step further in this spiritual successor, where the NPCs are actually moving in groups and trying to take control points around the heart, trying to secure victory and ultimate control for their side.
The original God Wars was so popular because of the rewards you could get, so we've been really careful to make sure the rewards you can get from God Wars Dungeon 2 are really awesome as well. You can get different armor sets in the styles of each of the generals, and you can also get weapons in their styles as well. There'll also be rep rewards that you can get for raising your reputation with each of the factions, and some of them are really cool and unique. Some of the extra rewards players will be glad to know we've put in are 6 new boss pets. Now there's only 4 bosses, so you'll have to guess which the extra 2 ones are. Just like with the original God Wars dungeon, we want this content to have longevity and we want people to really love it. So if it goes down well, we have left room to be able to add other things in the future. God Wars Dungeon 2 is an awesome piece of content that I'm really proud of working on, and I can't wait for players to get stuck in, fight the generals who are really cool characters, see the environment, and earn themselves some sexy new rewards.
If you fancy your very own real-life God Wars 2 item, send us your best God Wars artwork by the 1st of April for a chance to win. Next week, Chronicle RuneScape Legends enters open beta, so we'll be catching up with the team to find out how you can take part, and we'll discover more on the release of the new RuneScape game client.